reason, the reason I'm a Christian is because Jesus Christ is alive.
Yes.
That's the reason. Now, a Christian is someone who has received His Holy Spirit into their lives. And it's the Holy Spirit that illuminates our minds and our hearts and guides us into truth. Now, the Spirit that lives in us is the same Holy Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. So that's the same Holy Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in someone who follows Jesus. And therefore, because of this, we are able to follow an example of Jesus in things that He did. And He instructed us to go and preach and teach and to heal and to deliver.
Beautiful. Okay. So I think there's a lot of people in this audience that believe the same way you do. Is it as simple as just looking into the camera and praying for someone that God would touch their need? And how do you do that?
Look, Matt, we got to be real and authentic.
Okay.
Okay. We live. If we're Christians, okay, we are an Easter people living in a Good Friday world.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
But it feels like Easter Saturday because we Christians know the resurrection. We're awaiting the second coming, but we're living in this brokenness.
Wow.
And we're trying to bridge the two.
Wow.
Okay, so we live in a world of miracle and mystery. Now, I pray for many people to be healed. I have actually seen miracles. And I have prayed for some people, and they haven't got well. I don't know what God did, but I believe that God did do something, because I believe that God ultimately reigns and rules.
Yes,
So I hold this tension together, but that tension does not hinder me in any way in praying for healing.
Beautiful.
My prayer is, if anyone is sick, I will pray for their healing until the Lord takes them.
Beautiful.
A lot of people's understanding of Christianity is a misunderstanding. So it's very important for us to know what Christianity is and why we believe it. Now, there are many different ways to explain it. I'm going to explain it in one particular way now. I think the best way of understanding it is to understand it as an invitation. One of the most famous verses in the Bible, John 3:16, says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, so that whoever believes in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life." It's an invitation. Now, when you get an invitation, there are three things you want to know. Who's it from? Who's it to? What's it about? For God. It begins with God. The invitation comes from God. But obviously, God means different things to different people. A little girl said to her mummy, "Mummy, is God in the house?" And the mother thought, "Yes, He is, dear." The little girl said, "Mummy, if God's in the house, is He in the kitchen?" So the mother thought, "Well, He's in the house. Yes, He is in the kitchen." And the little girl said, "Mummy,